What is up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys are safe. I hope you guys are sound. It has for sure been a crazy week, especially here up in the Northeast, in the New York, New Jersey area. And I know last time we discussed about talking about 5 ways that we can make it through this pandemic together as business owners and as entrepreneurs. So I want to recap on what we talked about last week. Number 1 was controlling yourself, controlling your belief, controlling your mind. Right now, that you have the most power over. And it's up to you how you decide to put that power to work. We've all been given that unique gift, and you can do whatever you want with it. I think it's really important at the moment to dig deep into yourself, right? Because you control your emotions. You control how you react to what is happening to you. And you can look at it 2 ways. You can say that this is happening to me or this is happening for me. If you look at it as to me, that is the victim mentality. If you look at this as an opportunity, as tragic as this may be, there are silver linings in it. You just have to find them. All right. So that was number 1. Number 2, we talked about controlling expenses. And I'm actually going to do a separate podcast breaking down how you figure out what your core expenses are for your business. I'll go line item by line item. And what that'll do is it'll actually give you the ability to assess where you are at the current moment, what your burn rate is for capital, how much money you're going to need over the next year, what your profitability is. And it's just a great recap on where the state of your business is. And actually, it's a financial checkup, something you should be doing every couple of months anyway. So we'll do that separately in its own podcast. But please take a look at your bottom line expenses. Super crucial. So number 3. I know we did number 1, number 2. Number 3 is having a plan. Right now, you can either sit home and do nothing. We talked about that last time. You can sit home, eat Cheetos, watch Netflix all day, or you can sit home and strategize and have a plan. What does a plan look like? A plan is 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, right? And you need to visualize where you're going to be at each of those points. We're in the middle of the crisis right now. New York is being is spoken about being shut down. It is May 2nd today. Through potentially September at this point, according to the mayor yesterday, it might be months. What does that look like for businesses? What does that look like for restaurants? Even if we do open, they're talking about capacity limits. A lot of people aren't going to be able to make it. So you really have to have a plan in place. And this gets back to looking back at your finances. So once you have a clear financial picture on what your burn rate is, what you're spending, how you can save money, then you can move forward and strategize where you're going to be tomorrow. If you do not have a plan, you will fail. It's that simple. There is no way around it, guys. You have to have a plan in place as to what your business looks like if this crisis continues as bad as it is in the Northeast. Every part of the country is going to be different. In more aggressive states, businesses are going to go open up and their populations are going to support them. In more conservative states, in the sense of, and I mean conservative, not politically, but conservative in terms of their approach on how they handle this. And by the way, my show, my talk is not about political, who's right, who's wrong. It's about what is. And in New York and New Jersey, we're going to be the most conservative to reopen. So what does that look like for us? How long are we going to go without income to a consistent income in our businesses? Is it going to be a month? And I think people right now are thinking, hey, when the door opens up, we're back to the races. And that's a fallacy. Guys, we're not back to the races for a very long time right now. We're going to be open up in a very gradual pace, and government is going to control that opening. And whether that's right, wrong, it's indifferent. The bottom line is it's a fact at the moment. And that fact is going to force us to adapt. And if you do not adapt, you're going to die. And I mean that. And I don't want to see that, because I'm hearing about all these businesses failing, and it's making me fucking mad. It's making me mad that people who've put their lives into these things, companies for 30 years, family businesses, are never going to reopen. And again, I'm not saying, again, please, this is not political. It just breaks my heart that this is happening. So what can we do to stop it, right? What can we do to plan if we are those business owners? We can take steps. It may be really hard. We may fail, right? That's an option. This may turn around, and no matter what we do, it's out of our control at this point. But that's okay. But we need to do everything we possibly can to take those steps to make sure that we're able to stay in business. So for right now, what do those plans look like? 1 day, tomorrow, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to contact 10 clients personally. Sorry, I have my notepad right here. I'm going to contact 10 clients personally. And of those clients, I'm going to tell them, hey, I appreciate your business. I'm going to keep those networks alive. That's one thing. It's an actionable step, right? Number 2, and the larger action is to keep my client base, right? And then along that, tomorrow, keep my client base. Then I have A, B, and C. A is contact all those clients. B is whoever I don't get on the phone, write a personalized email. C is, maybe you send them a card. Whatever it is, you take 3 steps to connect those. And you know better than me what your business is and how you can connect with your client base. Next step, for 1 week, my goal is to stop spending. All right. But now that's just words. What does that look like? Well, stay off Amazon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign out of my Amazon account, right? Really simple step. And by signing out, you're now taking an actionable step. I'm going to put in place 2-step process to authenticate your account to buy something. Now it's a pain in the ass if you want to buy something because you have to get a text message and put it back in. What that moment does is it takes the impulse of buying something on Amazon Prime away, and it makes you think about your purchase. Do I really need that? Well, if it's not food, something for your children, or something to a basic bare necessity, the answer is no, you don't need it, right? So for me, what's that been? Right? Things I would normally order, I don't. The only bare things I've ordered since this lockdown started was a few pieces of gym equipment because the gyms are shut down. Now, I looked at those as investments because I'll literally use them until the day that I can. And I mean that. So, again, how do we take away those Amazon purchases, right? Again, and that's one little line, one little drop in the sand, but it could be a big drop over the course of a year because if you stop doing that and you're able to save another $3,000, which we talked about last time, every dollar saved is a dollar earned, even greater than that, especially right now. So again, guys, really having a plan in place, I think, is crucial at this point. Number 4, something within our control is customer service. I've spoken to so many people on both ends of the business equation, customers and business owners. And I've heard atrocities. I've seen atrocities. I've been handled with so poorly by people. I've had people try to take advantage of the situation right now. I've had companies take advantage of the situation. Guess what? They will never get my business again. Mark Cuban said it best. The way you treat your customers during this pandemic will define the success of your business going forward, verbatim. That's it. And I'm making a mental note. I'm making a note right now mentally of people who I've spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars with over the course of my 24-year career that I've had relationships with in business. I've received phone calls from a handful of those vendors. Now, it's easier to remember the ones who've called because there's so few. Now, that being said, many have not called, but I see them on Facebook every day. They don't have loved ones sick. They're literally sitting home doing nothing. And again, they're not reaching out to their customer base. So if they didn't reach out to me, they didn't reach out to somebody else. When this does open up, those are the relationships that are over. There's no coming back from those because I'm going to say, hey, guys, 3 months, you never called and said, how can I support you, Anthony? What can I do to make your life easier right now? And the answer is realistically, maybe they couldn't have done anything, but it's the gesture that counts. I've had people who I don't do business with who've reached out to me and said, Anthony, how can I support you during this time? I know we don't currently do business, but maybe there's something I can do for you right now that makes an impact in your life. And I'm like, hey, listen, right now I'm okay. But you've made an impact by just making the phone call. So when things do open up and when we do return to some semblance of normal, those are the people I'm going to turn to support my business now. Not the people who I've been doing business with for 20 years, who I see on social media doing nothing, who haven't reached out to me. And that infuriates me because all they have to do is a 5-minute phone call, okay? I can attest I've been on the phone and on email more now than I have in my entire life, literally. I'm on the phone 8 hours a day talking to clients, talking to other vendors, making sure my clients are accommodated. That's what customer service is at the moment, okay? For those of you not doing it, I hate to say this, your business may not be around. And that's the bottom line. That's the truth. That's the thing nobody's talking about, okay? If you do not do this, it will be death to your business. It's that simple. People are going to remember the people who called. The ones who didn't, they're going to forget, okay? So if you can do anything, it's control how you think, it's control how you interact with your customers at the moment. But number 5 is be a leader. And for this, I strongly suggest that everyone read Jocko Willink and Leaf, I forgot his last name, I apologize, Dichotomy of Leadership. They are 2 Navy SEALs, and they talk about what it is to be a leader, okay? And a leader in the moment of putting other men's and women's lives on the line, right? So they're making a decision at a military base. I'm going to send my troops out, and this is the tactical plan that we're going to implement. If that plan is wrong, if they have not trained to the fullest of their ability, someone dies. So think about that, guys. Their leadership results in their brothers, which is how they view each other, death. That is the ultimate, in my opinion, there is no higher form of leadership than when you're making decisions that impact other people's lives, right? Well, this book breaks down what people are looking for in a time like now. They're looking for leadership, right? They're looking for somebody to step forward. They're looking for decisiveness. And they talk about that in their book. A decisive decision is better than no decision at all. It's better than lying. It's better than making up false truths. It's better than anything else. But make a decision, follow the decision, but make sure it's a carefully thought out, well executed decision. And then you pivot, right? So if that decision, if they're engaged, and they talk about this in their book, and something needs to pivot, their training now kicks in, right? So they can now pivot that decision. Well, as business owners with 25 years of experience, myself, my friends, you make a decision. That decision may be the wrong one, and that's okay. From that decision, then you have the ability and you have the knowledge to pivot. If you are young, if you are new to being an entrepreneur, wow, trial by fire it is right now, guys, okay? My heart bleeds for you, but at the same time, this is a blessing. And if you look at it that way, you are learning literally real world, real time, okay? Take advantage of this opportunity, right? Again, it's all about how you look at it. Take advantage of this opportunity. Decide what you're going to do with it. Decide now. People are quitting. People's morale is the lowest. Well, you need to step up. And when you step up, you can now gain market share, right? You can build a brand that goes above and beyond in these times that will be remembered once these times are over. Again, that's a choice that you have, and only you can make that choice. So guys, right now you have a decision to make. You can decide if you are going to allow this to ruin your life or if you are going to allow this to empower you. I challenge you. I applaud you. Please let this empower you. Let this take your business to the next level. Let this make you a better human being. Step up, right? And in the words of Tony Robbins, he screams it at his step up. Right now is a time to step up. It is not a time to step down, right? Make yourself bigger, better, right? Improve on yourself. Control, take control. Own it. Own the decisions you're making. Take this opportunity. It's been a crazy week, myself included. You know, I've had moments, I'm up, I'm down. You know, it's crazy. I feel bad for what's going on. I hear horror stories right now, and I don't want to hear these anymore, right? I want us to take action, right? And help each other, most importantly. Support your local business. Support your other entrepreneurs and small business owners. That's what this country is built on. We're built on small businesses. So, guys, I want to thank you. Thank you for listening. I hope this content gives you some kind of relief. I hope it makes you take action, and I hope it brings you some kind of value. That's the bottom line. I hope this brings value to you guys. And if it does, shoot me a message. If there's something you want me to go over, something you want me to discuss, shoot me a message. Again, be well. We love you guys. Stay strong. Talk to you soon.